Rob G, something happened in the NBA with LeBron last night that changed the course of NBA history.
That's right. By him not playing, which we talked about, he will now see his All-NBA consecutive streak end at 21 years. That's right. For the first time in over 21 seasons, LeBron James will not, NOT, be a part of the All-NBA team at the end of the season.
And that's a good thing.
And interestingly enough, before the game, J.J. Redick spoke to reporters, and they asked him about the 65-game rule and LeBron's streak being over, and he said that the games played threshold should be used more as a suggestion to voters rather than a hard and fast rule, adding, quote, I think it's fine to have some sort of guidance for voters, not necessarily having a hard and fast rule. It's interesting that we would talk about LeBron because LeBron, of course, is the king and the biggest name here in sports, in the NBA at least. However, he's not the only player who is either eliminated from consideration or on the verge of being eliminated from consideration. Here's the list, guys. You got LeBron, number one. He's out. Giannis, he's not considered anymore as well. Steph Curry, 2 games away. Wemby, 3 games away. Kawhi Leonard, 4 games away. Luka, 4 games away. Anthony Edwards, 7 games away. That's not including Nikola Jokic, who's right there as well, had he not come back a couple of games ago. So, guys.
But he came back because they knew what they were doing, didn't they?
They did.
I'm serious. So he's got a chance to win the MVP.
Yeah, here's the question, fellas. Now that we've seen this 65-game rule in action, and a lot of the best players are not going to be eligible for All-NBA, can we finally admit that it's a dumb idea and it's got to go?
No. I ain't admitting it. Dang it. There was a reason why the rule had to be implemented. Because we were losing best players playing. We weren't getting those matchups we wanted. Primetime TV events, you weren't having a plan. I allowed the Lakers last night missing 4 of their starters and star players. So absolutely not. I know it's inconvenient. I know some of these guys are going to be missing out on these awards, and I understand it. But there's a reason, Rob, that it was implemented because you had to have something where we're going to get the best players playing for the vast majority of the games. Nobody expects you to play 82, not even really 72, but you can't give me 66. Then why should I be considering you for an award if you're missing, a third of the game? So I understand people saying it's not fair. But when you go back, and dang it, I hate to be that get off my lawn guy. You know I don't like to be that. But back in the day, Bird, Magic, Jordan, those guys were playing it. Yes, they didn't play 82 all the time, but they got mad seasons of playing 82. They got some playing 70, 75. Like, you just played the game.
If they played 75, people would be okay with that. It's just, like
even 72, it's like, all right, in a whole 6-month season, give or take, you miss 10 games. I can live with that.
Or you miss one game a month, right? That would be
you got nicked up every now and again. But every little nicked up bruise is 2 to 3 games out, Rob.
Yeah, I told you before. And I think I have the best solution. If I get to ask Adam Silver a question at the commissioner's press conference, I would definitely throw it out. Like, what they should do to really control it is you miss a game, Kelvin, and I'm talking, you got to miss 3 games. You got to miss 3 games, not 1. Can't take a night off against a bad team, you know what I mean, to rest up and whatever. Then you'd have to miss the next 2 games. It would stop people from doing it. Or if you take off with a questionable injury to be determined by the league, you get zeros in your stat line for that game. People aren't doing that. You know that. Because your scoring average and where you fit in the league would take a big hit if you had 8 or 10 zeros in games across the board. And that's they have to get back to that. But I'm good with this. I am totally good with this. And they had to do something, and tough luck for all those guys. Tough. You guys are missing a lot of games. You shouldn't be evaluated on the same par. Like any other sport, we talk about all the time. You can't play 90 games and win the batting title in baseball. You got to get 3.1 at-bats per game, right? The average.
Right.
3 point, no matter what, that's what it is. And you have to have a minimum amount of at-bats in order to get there. A lot of guys get 4 games, so you just need 3.1. So you can miss some games, you know what I mean, and still have enough plate appearances to qualify. So that's where they need to be. And the only way they can do it is with games in the NBA.
No, you're right. And if you look at, like, we just had the NFL season, so I use that as an example. Like, you're not going to win the MVP. You play 10 of the 17 games, right? Yeah, I don't give a dang how amazing you were.
No matter what
They're
your
just
numbers,
not
right,
going to give
right.
it to you. You know, you got to probably play 17 games now in the last handful of years.
15
You're probably, my guess,
at
15,
minimum.
unless you, in 14 is you had that still threw for 4,600 yards and 38 touchdowns. That's it. So the idea that, oh, man, it shouldn't matter. No, it does matter because you had to have an imprint on the game, an imprint on your team, an imprint throughout the season. We really can't talk about the season without talking about you. And so, therefore, you had to play a vast majority of them. And I don't think that should be a big deal. In fact, I think guys should be playing so much, Rob, that we actually end up forgetting. Like, oh, yeah, I forgot that rule existed because guys are just playing and they're getting an opportunity. Now, again, if somebody wanted to lower it to 65 or something, okay, but the idea that it needs to go away or that it's there for a reason to me. Some people are mad about the 65-game rule in order to win an award. LeBron will now miss the chance to be All-NBA for the 21st. It would have been his 22nd time had he had a chance to do it. I actually, you and I, one of the times we agree on something, I like it in the sense that you had to do something to incentivize guys to play, stop the load management. And so, hey, I say it doesn't have to go away, at least not yet. If maybe I start feeling like more guys are playing more often, maybe I'll change my mind. 877-99 on Fox. Who we got?
Let's go start with Adam in D.C. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Adam?
Yeah, it's my favorite radio show, man. Hey, listen, it's this old saying. I don't know how it quite goes, but it's something like the grandfather will crawl so the grandfather can walk, so that just the son can drive, then so the grandson later going to mess it all up. Anyway, I don't know how the code goes, but these guys
hey, we get what you meant.
You know what I mean? And I feel like we just at that precipice of the NBA where these guys are extremely soft. I'm sorry to say it. I know I'm 5'6", 160 pounds. To call them some athletes soft is a bit, but man, they are soft though. And LeBron's the king of softness. And as a Lakers fan, I can't wait till he leaves because it's like, how in the world are you going to sit here and say that this game is so much more advanced and faster paced? It's not even true.
Right.
Rob, you know you've been
we
covering the league since the 60s. It ain't true, man. I just think that these guys.
1987. Come on,
Yeah, he
Adam.
said you've been
All right.
covering it since the 60s.
Man. Love y'all. Talk to y'all later.
Yeah,
man.
appreciate you as always, my man. Thank you,
Rob,
Adam.
I knew you've been covering it a while. I know it was the 60s.
Yeah,
Dang.
all right. I was 4 years old. Is that what we're doing?
You walking around with a little notebook with some diapers on.
Yeah, I wasn't even 4. What I'm saying, I wouldn't have been born for 4 years, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Hey, 877-99 on Fox. Who we got?
Andre in Massachusetts, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. I do want to know what's going on in the Commonwealth. They're still crying over the Patriots?
How you doing? Thanks for taking the call. Yes, tears are still being shed over the Patriots. I think a little bit of reality as well is setting in. People have mitigated their expectations, and recognize, listen, the team is what it was, overachieved tremendously. Obviously, you get to the big game, you want to get over the top, but a lot of looking forward to next year. The sky is not falling here in the Commonwealth. But about the 65 games, NBA is absolutely on the right track here, and I have a firm take on this, Rob. You remember when NBA players were flying commercial flights, these 6'7", 6'8" guys.
Yes, I was
there.
sitting next to them, yes.
Okay, and the games were on tape delay. So right now, my feeling is these guys have no pride in their profession, none whatsoever. And all of this crying, all these bubble boy basketball players out here sitting out multiple games with these tenuous injuries, it just makes me absolutely sick because you have to realize what the game came from and what it took to build it up to this place. Never mind the fact these guys fly on private jets. Never mind the fact they got 18 coaches on the sideline, an assistant coach for the assistant coach for the assistant coach. Any little thing that they have, they got 10 people there ready to help them out. And you can't show up to work. Meanwhile, you're charging people $5 for Dasani water to go to these games. It's preposterous. They need to go from 65 to 70s. And honestly, you need to have pride in your profession and appreciate what you do. You have the best jobs on the planet, and the optics are atrocious. So get out there or no awards, period. Thanks for taking the call.
I hear you, man. I'm not even mad at you.
Fired up in the Commonwealth.
No, and he's right. It's just like it's so disrespectful to the fans. It just is. I don't know why people don't see it that way. Carl in Mobile, Alabama. Hopefully he's not yelling at me tonight. How are you, Carl? You having a good night in Alabama?
I'm having a great night. I haven't called in months, but I've been listening, talking to you guys. I just had to get in.
Well, we appreciate that. Where are you on this 65-game rule?
I'm with y'all 100%. They can, I totally agree the NBA had to do something. But when this first came out, I had an idea a year or so ago, and I said, what if they make players who are going to sit out, do a autograph signing session, set up tables, and anybody who doesn't play signs autographs for the kids whose parents took out money out of the stadium and spent money on parking, and you get an autograph from LeBron and whoever else. And
the players wouldn't do it. They would
They would
fight.
never do that,
They
but
would
I ain't mad
die.
at it.
But I ain't even mad at that because I think I mentioned earlier when our show meeting, I was talking to Rob G about, I could still remember a game with Memphis, Kelvin, where it was near Christmas time, and all the kids were crying because LeBron didn't play. In that was their Christmas gift. You know what I mean? Like it was around December 23rd or 6th or 7th. It was right around the holiday, and all the kids were so disappointed that he didn't play, and it was their only trip to Memphis. So I like that idea a lot. Thanks for the call, Carl. Appreciate you. Thank you. How about Chili Tim in Atlanta? Chili.
Rob, in the words of Bernie Mac, why are you always after some other man's milk and cookies?
Hey,
Him downstairs.
The cake update, man. I'm gonna have my cake pretty soon, man.
Rob, if you might be old enough to go get Meals on Wheels if you want to have stuff delivered to you.
Hey, yo.
Come
Now that's
on.
funny.
Wow.
He might be right, Rob. Let me check the years.
Hey, but you know what, Tim? You're right. She does have a car, so she can just drive over.
See, Ricky.
God.
See, now he getting
Something
carried
ain't
away,
right,
Ricky.
but I'm still riding it.
Now he getting carried away, Ricky.
What?
See, now she got. All right. See, that's what I mean.
Rob, man. You know how to work. I don't know if I want to meet you in Atlanta. I got to make sure my wife stays far away from you, man. Oh, my God.
Oh, hey, Chili. Don't bring wifey.
Stop.
I see that now, man.
What?
I see that.
Chili, I'm just a friendly guy. It has nothing to do with.
Rob, if you want to be married, just go get your own wife.
I know.
You know?
Yeah.
Since this is Worship Wednesday, don't covet another man's wife. I'm going to give you a word on Worship Wednesday.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
the scripture for the day.
There you go. That's a good strip. That's a good
There you
scripture.
have it.
That's right.
But I guess I'm kind of the opposite with it a little bit. I think I'm not mad if you change it with stipulations and maybe you can kind of change it. Like if guys are legitimately hurt, which I don't know how you can gauge that, but maybe if you could find a workaround, but just, not the low management, but I don't really want to punish a guy who has a habit of playing and does not sit out. And I know you can't do that across the board, but I just don't. If you can find stipulations to kind of work it around, I don't want to punish the guys that really do want to be out there and play, and they don't usually sit out.
Chili, I get your point, right? You don't want to punish a guy. He just happens to legitimately be hurt. But every year just might not be your year, meaning this might not be the year that you're an All-NBA or the Defensive Player of the Year. Like, it might just be this year was tough on you. You were bogged down with injuries, but you bounce back next year. Like, every year doesn't have to be your year.
Now, Chili, my thing, and I really believe that it's the best thing, is if somebody's really hurt and you give them 3 days, right? That would if you're really hurt and you have to miss 3 days, you could recuperate. If you're not really hurt, are you going to miss 3 games for your team just to be off for that one night? Do you see what I'm saying? Like you would have to make a real decision, because if you missed 5 games, right, saying you take 5 nights off, you would have to miss 15 games in the season, because you have to miss 3 total when you take off. And I think that would stop people.
On a sliding scale, Rob. I like your idea.
Thanks.
That's fair. That's fair, Rob. That's
yeah.
fair.
I would have to have a sliding scale, right? Your 1 is 1, and then if you do it again at 2, that's an additional game. Like, I wouldn't want it to be from start, it's 3 games. That's a little too excessive for me. However, I get your point.
It would just stop people from, thanks, Chili, for calling. But
just
you get my
taking
point.
I'm a little beat up a game off. Like,
exactly, right.
Yeah.
It's different between being injured and just taking a night off. You know what I mean? Because you don't feel like playing.
Players always say that's the difference between injured and hurt.
Yep.
2 different things. You're hurting. All right, Rob, so they're watching us right now, which means another thing they can do is what?
They can subscribe. All you got to do is hit that button, subscribe to The Odd Couple for some of the best sports talk content in the nation.
Facts, and while you're at it, they can like, they can comment, they can share. Do all that for us. We appreciate it. Just do all that right up in here.